So whenever our ex-boss asks us out for lunch one by one, so she'll make it a point. So we know that she has a
like
roster.
one-to-one sessions,
She has a secret roster because it's a small whiteboard in her office where she keeps track of who she's had lunch with, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because she was at the C-suite at that time and I was more like,
the junior.
it's just like some small cog in the whole pecking order of the big thing, right? So she would make it a point to have these lunches with us,
Which
right?
I think is nice, actually.
Yeah, and it's really nice because she takes us to nice places and we get a ride in one of her 3 fancy cars, right? So we were like, okay, so which car did you get today? Oh, the Merc. Or which one did you get? Oh, I got the Audi today. So dapatlah merasa, right? Going in these nice cars. But man, the stress levels, like, oh, okay, it was like you're almost dreading it.
Okay, tomorrow I'm going to talk about this. Like, you come up with talking points.
Yeah, okay, what's she going to ask me tomorrow?
You have to prepare slides.
Do I have to, hey, do I need to do slides for this? And then your anxiety levels are there, like, trying to do the slides.
Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of GRADUAN Go podcast with me, Nada. And today we have 2 special guests. We have Mona from PwC and also Liza from CIMB. Maybe I'll let them introduce themselves first.
Okay, hi, I'm Mona. I'm from PwC. I'm in charge of recruitment.
Hi, I'm Liza. I'm with CIMB and I'm in charge of recruitment as well, but focusing not just for Malaysia, also for the ASEAN region.
So thank you. So, when we developed the podcast, we wanted to touch on topics which were on the minds of a lot of people, but was not spoken enough, probably. So today's topic is actually, can you be friends with your boss or your colleague? So is that even possible? So today we have Mona Lisa. I was saying it's something that I just, realized. I can't believe I've known you guys for so long, and I didn't realize that your names are one.
Well, we are 2 separate people, right, Lisa?
Definitely.
We're not Siamese twins.
No.
Yeah. Although when we work together, I think people
have that perception.
People have that perception. Yeah.
So I think the first question everyone will want to know is, how did you guys meet each other?
Okay. You want to tell the story or what?
No, you go ahead.
Huh?
Let's see whether we have the same version.
Exactly, it was just the same story.
So how
I was
met.
okay. I was told that I was at PwC then, and I was told that we had to do national service. And Liza was working for Talent Corp.
Okay.
So in the name of national service, she said, you need to go to some far-off university, somewhere in a very remote area, but I will take care of everything for you. But that was one of the many adventures that we had to together lah.
Okay.
Right? So thanks to her, we probably did Cuti or Cuti Malaysia.
Yeah.
Around the world, we went,
A tour of Malaysia.
tour of Malaysia, right? In the name of employability for our graduates. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's about right. So I think just wanted to make sure that it's not really like a uncomfortable or to a certain extent scary experience. Mona, 6 a.m. I'm going to pick you up at PwC office. So we're going to go to this so-called area.
Okay.
So this is what we're going to do, and then around 4-5 we should be able to bring you back.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know where you will be going, but trust me.
Trust
it will
me,
be
yeah.
okay.
So it was hashtag Demi Negara.
Demi Negara, exactly.
Demi Negara.
This is
So
for Demi Negara.
and Demi Accountant, Majulah Accountant.
Yeah,
So our unofficial hashtag was Majulah Accountant untuk negara.
Okay. Yeah, so the reason why I actually invited both of you is because, you have a very good friendship, and there was also a point in time where you work together in the same company. So I wanted to ask, how does the dynamic of a friendship with a boss or colleague differ from other friendships? And you can also speak on your own experience or others that you've actually encountered.
Do you want to go first?
So I think we had this discussion way back where we acknowledged that in a very special or very unique circumstances, you can actually be friends and colleagues or bosses at the same time.
Okay.
But there will also be instances where we need to also acknowledge the fact that some people we can be good friends, but not so much on colleagues and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, I think it's more based on chemistry more than anything else.
Yeah.
And at the same time also the wavelength. I think like myself and Mona, we have a lot of things in common. Despite I may look more makcik than her, but we have a lot of things in common. But sometimes she behave more makcik than me lah, so it can actually be either way.
We balance it out very well. Yeah.
We do have our disagreement when it comes to work.
Okay.
Yeah. So but I think the analogy that we had earlier, we wanted the same thing, but maybe jalan berlainan. I
Yes,
think
that's
we
right.
had
So our arguments are whether we both want to go to Klang, but
Yeah.
she says you better take the Federal Highway, right? And me, I'd say no, I want to go to Kasas. Why do you want to take Federal Highway? It's jammed, right? Yeah.
But
So-
eventually we'll arrive to whatever destination.
Yeah, I think it's easy because you want the same things at the end of the day.
Yes,
Right?
yeah.
But do you think friendships like these, or whether with your colleagues or whether with the superior, blurs professionalism? Atau tak?
I don't think so, at least not from my experience. Because to me, I think you just know how to. Okay, one of my former bosses, he called me an IKEA cabinet because I know how to compartmentalize.
Okay.
So I can just open and
That's
close.
a compliment. That's a really big compliment.
And it's very, in his own words, it's very rare traits of a woman.
Okay.
Because I don't mix things around, so I can
Okay.
just like open, close, open, close.
Yeah.
So I think maybe because of that, I'm able to draw the line. This is a friendship-related kind of conversation, and this is work-related kind of conversation. So I don't let it mix.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that not many people can have that, because especially as I move up my career ladder,
Yes.
there are certain friendships somewhat lost because of sometimes
whatever that had happened.
because sometimes you just wanted to reach the goal, like what Bona mentioned, you just want to reach to the destination. But maybe some people get offended to the point that I do not want to be friends with you anymore.
Correct.
So I think it's not really like a one size fit all kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
It depends on the individual.
Yes,
I think.
that's right. Yeah, so I'm going to be the consultant in this. I'm going to say it really depends. So I'm not like Liza.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm this great big, in my head at least, I don't compartmentalize particularly well. So I've got this great big salad in the sky.
Yes.
But I think it's a skill that you can learn, right? So it starts with self-awareness, and then getting coaching, and then over the years, I've had friends, and even people like friends like Liza and other colleagues that I've met along the way, who have actually become good coaches and sounding board. You learn you learn to kind of like take a step back, you learn to put some distance, and then figure out, okay, well, this is about work and this is about friends. And after a time, you're able to separate. Of course, I think now with Teams and digitalization at work, right?
Yeah.
So you're able to separate work conversations. So I tell Lisa, okay, this is a work conversation. We have it on Teams. So we got to on Teams, on Google Sheets.
I mean, that's your way of segregating.
Yeah, so in a way, that's a way of segregating that kind of gives a signal, right? And then say, okay, this is, and then, okay, now we're on WhatsApp, so we can talk about, so what did you buy in Shopee? So these are some of the things that you can learn. You can learn. But I think the reality is that in Malaysia, if at least from observation, anecdotal evidence, because I think a lot of time is spent in the workplace, and because makan masa lunchtime is such a big culture.
Correct.
When I worked in the UK, people didn't really go out to
just
eat,
have their salads or
have a salad sandwich. Everybody's just at their desk.
Al desco
kind of thing. People want to be done with lunch in half an hour. But in Malaysia, going out to lunch with your team or
It's
with
an
your colleague,
activity.
it's an activity. It's a big deal. So a lot of friendships are actually formed after at the workplace.
Correct.
Yeah. Right.
And you spend so much time at the workplace.
At the workplace, So I mean, there's no right or wrong way to manage it.
No, I think it's very important to get along with the people you work with, and even like them, and build friendships, because you spend so much time. But as an individual, that's when you need to know the lines, whether the line is a very obvious line or it's a mental line that you draw. I think there has to be a little bit of space lah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, because I've seen instances where it can work against them. Like some people I know, like for example, through my observation, like they don't want to go for that promotion because they're worried that, my friend also wants it. Then I ikut, then okay, we both don't do it. But in the end, no one wins.
That's right.
And I think over here, because you jaga hati your friend or something like that, right? So so I mean, that's when I think what instances that we can learn from. But overall, I think it's important to actually get along with your boss or your colleague. Right?
I think riding from that example, Nada, because to me, again, compartmentalization.
Yes.
To me, that's actually a good way to filter who your true friends are.
Yeah.
Because if people can't be happy for you, do you even want to call that person a friend?
Yeah.
So when it comes to promotion, I
Yeah.
think one of the culture that I started with my team is to really celebrate promotion.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not your time yet, but you should always be happy
For
your
your
teammates.
team. Yeah.
And also you also need to acknowledge the success of your colleagues, peers, or whichever, right? To be promoted or to get any good commendation and all that. Somewhat, you also contribute to that. So it's about building or developing that kind of healthy work ecosystem. But at the same time, it can also be a filtration. That
Of a true friend.
if you can't be happy for me, then why are we even friends?
Correct.
Yeah.
As a personal philosophy, I think if I'm already friends with this particular person, I will not go and orang Melayu kata cari nahas. So I will not go and actually work for a friend.
Yeah. There's some people that.
That's I think that's a own boundary that you'll have to draw. So you start out with that. But of course, if you come into an organization as colleagues, right? So for example, from where I work, then of course you have a large mass of young people coming in together. Obviously, some are going to get promoted before others, right? Okay, then I think that's where I would say that learning to be, I would say, professional and mature about how life works out and how your career works out, right? Is important. That's a different story altogether.
I think just now, before this, when we were having our little soiree before, remember we were talking about how you've never actually, like, you develop friendships after joining the organization. You've never, both of you, go and apply for a company, or if you know a company, if you know your friend is in the organization, it's not something that I want that role as well, and then you get what I mean?
If you're talking about both of us, no.
I
don't think we have ever
no.
I know,
but
because
I mean,
both of us we want different things.
Not
maybe
both
because
of you.
that,
just like basically, like Mona, for example, you've developed friendships after you work in the organization.
Yes.
It's not before, right?
No, I think so. The friends that I develop on a personal level, actually I never want to go and work with them because I think it's okay. So I guess from a personal standpoint, so like my husband never dated anyone from the firm. Because he said I want to know what's life outside of the confines of corporate life. So he made it a point that he would always date somebody from outside. So for the same reason that I have a group of friends who will never understand what it is that I do. I don't understand what they do, but we're friends from a personal level, and these are usually childhood relationships or school friends, right? That grew out, and it keeps things very interesting because when you're stuck, you go to them and they give you a very different
mindset.
Perspective.
Perspective.
So like there was once Lisa and I were really upset about something, and then
we didn't talk for 2 weeks.
We didn't talk for 2 weeks, and then I went to see this other friend, and then she just told me like point blank to my face and like said, you need to get a life. So I'm like, okay, I mean that gives you that
Thank
really
you,
pours
but
cold,
ouch.
that really pours cold water on things and think, okay, that was that was a good thing. And then but then it doesn't stop you from developing
New friendships
in the workplace.
Actually, I hardly go out with people that I work with on social or personal level. Actually, I avoid spending time with people that I work with after office hour, and that's just my personal preference. So sometimes I did like jokingly tell my team, hey, you guys got no other circle of friends, go and meet other people lah. Because sometimes, especially for those who don't know how to draw the line, and then you start offending each other. If it doesn't affect the work, I don't mind.
Correct.
It doesn't really, I don't really care. But if you start, like, I don't want to talk to the person because now I'm having this disagreement, can you talk to this person on my behalf?
Pass.
Yes. And we've seen that happen. Especially, when you just starting your career. Maybe still like this friend thing. So I have the so-called personal preference that I don't really. And
plus you have your family, right? You have so much. I mean,
and also you have other friends.
So much to do.
And this whole thing about together go and like, okay, we all apply to one company because all my friends are there. No, I mean, why would I want to do that, right? Yeah.
So just now, Liza, you touched on having a team and everything because both of you have got people reporting to you, and you are the boss, basically, their boss. So how is that relationship? Do you spend a lot of time with them? How do you become? Are you like? Is being the cool boss important, or is how do you? What's the dynamics there? It's tricky, I know. that balance. You know what I mean? Because things still need to get done. I know for me, especially because it can be tricky because there are things that I need to achieve and meet, especially sales-wise. Because in GRADUAN, we need to make our own funds and the targets to meet, and work needs to move. Same with both of you. There are deadlines to meet and people to report to. So how do you ensure that your relationship with your team is also, is being the cool boss important, basically?
Okay. Okay. I think initially when I first became a boss, because leadership I discovered is a tricky thing.
Yes.
Being a boss is, I've said this many times, being a boss is overrated. People think that it's about the corner office and it's about, rewards-wise, it may be more rewarding and perks and privileges, but man, the responsibility that comes along with it, right?
Yeah.
So I guess initially in my early years when I was uncertain and unsure of myself as a leader, it was a bit more, jadi the cool boss kan. Because I wasn't the cool kakak at home. I'm the eldest of 5, and I'm definitely not the cool, chill, But I think as you get more, you mature, and like I said, through your friendships as well that you develop at the workplace, you look at how others do it, and then maybe take a few lessons from there, and then realize that it's about work. So you need to spend enough time with your people to understand them, to maybe even empathize with their situation.
Yeah.
Maybe also improve your listening skills. Because
Yeah.
bosses do a lot of talking, but not enough
Listening.
Yeah, listening is harder, right? But you don't have to spend all your time with them lah. They don't want the boss hanging around them all the time anyway. Yeah. The real party happens after, right?
Yes. So I concur.
Okay.
Definitely, because I think when I started to lead a team, I was quite relatively young. Maybe for current generation, they might feel that being a boss at the age of 28, mana ada young? But during my generation,
I was young.
So, it's young to manage a team. When I was at the age of 28. So again, it's like transitioning from being in HR terms individual contributor to people manager.
Yeah.
And you still want to make sure that it's like this stigma of being people pleaser.
Yes.
So you still want to be, I wouldn't use the word cool one, but likable.
Likable.
And everybody
likable,
wants to, I want people to come to me, the so-called open door policy, whatever, right?
Yes.
But as you progress, and I started to actually lead a bigger team,
Yeah.
there are certain things that I just have to accept. Like for example, like what you mentioned, right? Nobody wants to have meals with me unless if they have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of lunches alone.
Yeah. So when you said
it
lonely
gets
at the top,
lonely.
is
It
and
gets
sometimes
lonelier.
even when my boss knock on my door, come for lunch. I was like, oh my god, what did I do now?
Yes,
those
so
kind.
it's
Yeah.
Okay, I have a confession for that, but later we'll do that. My boss is still out there. She probably listen to this one day.
So those kind of thing.
Yeah.
And actually, the recent example, I always thought that perasan short sendiri whatever. I always thought that I'm chiller, as a boss compared to other people until the last like a week before Raya. So usually I make a practice that I buy Raya cookies or goodies or packs for my team.
Yeah.
But this round, because I have quite a large team, so we have the team of our permanent staff and also the proteges, the graduates. So boss tak adalah kaya mana nak beli untuk semua orang kan. So I for this year I allocated only for my permanent staff. So because of that, I don't put in the WhatsApp group. It come to my room and so I send personal messages.
Okay.
So I can tell you is whiter than pale coming to my room with the notebooks because they thought that they're going to get something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, ingatkan Kak Liza nak marah. you know those kind of things. So I thought,
Makes you realize that.
Yeah, is
that what you think of me?
Exactly. So I thought it's like a self-reflection, an aha moment. I didn't realize I give you that vibe.
Yeah. I don't think it's intentional. Also,
it's not
sometimes
intentional. Definitely.
It's just a
just like how I get that vibe from my boss. Yeah, so I think it's the same thing. Sometimes we forget to acknowledge that we also have bosses.
Yeah.
Whatever that we feel or may feel towards our bosses may also be felt by our team members.
The team.
Yeah. So that was like an aha moment to me. Oh, I didn't realize I wanted to do like a good thing, but everybody looked like so panicking. Like what did I do wrong? Kind of thing.
Yeah. Like even a drive. Like even I give you a ride home, so you don't have to take the LRT. It's late.
Oh no, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. I walk in the dark.
Yeah. I'm like, Okay, but then and then you're there worried, like, okay, is this person home? You know,
Is there something wrong with me?
Is that, you know, so you're going, but I think even as a staff, as a team member, then you're thinking, you're overthinking it when it also escalates your anxiety levels,
Correct.
right? Oh my God, boss wants to see me. What's going on? You know, and you agonize about it. It takes up all of your brain space in the day, right? Yeah.
So Mona, you said you had a story to share today.
Actually,
Confession.
Oh, confession.
yeah, actually, back a long time ago. Okay, I hope my ex-boss doesn't hear this, right? So whenever our ex-boss asks us out for lunch one by one, so she'll make it a point. So we know that she has
They have
a
like
roster.
one-to-one sessions,
She has a secret roster because there's a small whiteboard in her office where she keeps track of
Who
who she's had lunch with, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because she was at the C-suite at that time, and I was more like, you know,
The junior.
it's just like some small cog in the whole pecking order of the big
Okay.
thing, right? So she would make it a point to have these lunches with us,
Which
right?
I think is nice, actually.
Yeah, and it's really nice because she takes us to nice places and we get a ride in one of her 3 fancy cars,
Yeah.
right? So we were like, okay, so which car did you get today? Oh, the Merc. Or which one did you get? Oh, I got the Audi today. So dapatlah merasa, right? Driving these nice cars. But man, you know, the stress levels, you know, like, oh, okay, you know, it was like you're
And
almost
do you like,
dreading
okay,
it.
tomorrow I'm going to talk about this. Like, you come up with talking points.
Yeah, okay, what's she going to ask me tomorrow?
Oh, you don't have to prepare slides.
Do I do? Hey, do I need to do slides for this? And then your anxiety levels are there, like trying to do the slides. Yeah. So that's you know.
I do that, but I don't give them advance notice. So at least they can sleep the night before lah.
Oh, but kids nowadays will tell you, I got lunch plans.
It's okay.
I got
It's
lunch
okay. At
plans.
least you don't tell me that, oh, I didn't try. I tried, but you were not around.
Okay, fair enough.
So
Yeah.
Still, I'll try it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Still, I'll try with the team. You guys don't want to have lunch
No,
with
we're
me?
not trying to give tips,
Why no one wants to have lunch with me?
So you don't have a whiteboard, right? with a roster.
Don't use phone. Now everything digital.
A digital whiteboard.
So, okay, I know sometimes working in an organization and having friendships, you go through little challenges. Like just now you were saying, like there were 2 weeks where you guys didn't speak to
Yeah.
each other. How do you actually overcome that? Or, who needs to become the bigger person and, okay, we need to talk about this? Because I'm sure there are other friendships, not just with both of you, other people who just let it slide, you know? Tak payahlah. Like, it's okay, I'll just do my work and not. But you guys took the effort to actually fix whatever that, or have that conversation.
Oh, was it a lemon muffin?
See?
Lemon muffin and that's no, because we have this tradition whenever we see each other on stress.
Yeah.
So we walk to the nearest coffee station. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention brand because nanti
Yeah,
the
betul.
advertisement
Promo pula,
pula.
yeah.
True.
Product placement,
So we
Product
buy this
placement.
lemon muffin that we both like.
Where is that from? Allah?
It's
Text
in-
me
it's in-
later.
It's very near. It's very near where we used to work together.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so I think it's not just about peace offering. It's also when I acknowledge that it's a tough challenge because usually we attend the same meeting. So when I see that Mona kena marah dengan boss or I kena marah dengan boss, so then we buy each other.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
But then both of us kena marah secara berjemaah.
That one also kena.
So we were like, okay.
There was this one there.
Yeah.
Kena marah. Say, Mana, come, let's go. There we
Time
go.
for this lemon muffin time.
So, but I think at the end of that meeting, we realized that actually we want the same thing.
Yeah.
And we were both getting blasted for the same thing. So we
Yeah.
thought, okay, maybe this is not working out, right?
Yeah.
So I think I got offered an espresso offering. Then I got the
Yeah,
muffin.
the lemon.
Yeah, it's good that we're on the same wavelength,
Yeah.
right? This is where
Yeah.
understanding each other helps, right?
Yeah.
So we decided to. Then, like I said, having friends outside of your circle
Yeah.
who don't work in the same industry as you, who basically don't have a life, anything that resembles anything like yours helps because
Yeah.
it does give that additional perspective. Yeah.
Right. So I think everyone needs to find their version of a lemon muffin. You know?
Yes,
in a
that's
way.
right.
In
Yeah.
a way,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're all trying to achieve the same things at the
Yeah.
end of the day. Work hard and of course enjoy yourself while working hard. I always believe that you should enjoy what you do, and then go home to your family and enjoy the time with them. But you don't want the workplace to become too stressful. And
Yeah.
sometimes friends can help it make it a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think being friends with your boss and colleague is possible, right?
Yeah, I think it's possible. Yeah.
It does
Yeah.
actually.
There was a study that said that people tend to stay longer in an organization when they have a community or a group of friends.
Yeah.
Right? And you see that, I think, a bit more in my
There's a lot of TikTok videos on that. So
Yeah, a lot of the TikTok videos. Yeah. So I think friends I think one of the places where I've stayed the longest are places generally where
you're comfortable.
You're
and
comfortable. You have
nice.
friends. Yeah.
So I mean, to make the work environment comfortable, you need to develop friendships. I feel. This to touch on something quite funny. Mona and I encountered about, I think, a month or two back. I don't know if you remember. I'm not going to mention his name, but there was this individual who actually said that the environment here is like a family. And then so Mona and I were saying, like, apparently these days when you say it's like a family, that's a no-no. It's a red flag. But when the individual actually said it, he really meant well, because he's from an older generation, which to him, I want to make this workplace environment where everyone is comfortable. So his definition of the environment of a family is actually something good and positive. But yet, if you tell that to any Gen Zs now, they're like, oh, I need to stay away from that place, because apparently families take advantage of each other. Families make you... that's why everyone says that it's a red flag.
So I had that question.
Yeah. Oh, really?
So what I respond, I don't know what kind of family that you came from. But my family, whenever any one of us did something wrong, we have open conversation. It can either be open one-on-one, or it can actually be like a so-called group family intervention kind of thing. And if we celebrate together. So I think it's not right to generalize, and also generalize, like, just because you find that is so-called toxic, not necessarily is toxic for everyone else.
Correct.
I think.
Remember when we were at that place, we were like, oh no, he said it.
Like, so I did actually.
It's a good thing.
So actually, I did ask this person, right?
Yes,
and they came up with a very, I would say, it was a very, for me, I think it made sense to him, because he's from that generation, right? And this is one of those people that I would work with, right? Because,
correct.
Right? So one of the leaders I would look up to. But I think what it means is that it doesn't matter what you call it. I think some people call it community. We shouldn't go by buzzwords. Okay, community or friends are the thing that is the buzzword now. Family is no longer the buzzword, right? It's going beyond putting words and labels on things and thinking about actually what do we crave for when you come to work. It's the human connections. It's knowing that I'm going to have a bad day, or we're going to go through a very tough period, but you've got my back. Right? You're not going to, I don't have to worry about somebody, coming, from behind and taking credit from me, or, sabotaging my work, right? It's about being able to trust the person that you're going into
and give your best,
and giving your best and say, I've got you, So I think that's what he meant. That's what he meant.
Exactly.
And whether you call it a family or a community, it doesn't matter. But if you don't have that, you can call it anything.
Correct.
But if that ingredient is absent from the workplace, it's going to make for a pretty miserable workplace.
Correct. I totally agree. So sometimes, like you said, you shouldn't just look for buzzwords and because like Liza mentioned, it's not one size fits all. Different people like different things. Different people look for different things.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, last question. Do you think with friendships with your boss or colleagues, has there been personal growth? As in, do you think you've learned from each other or in your community? What do you think?
Okay. No, you?
Actually, I'm quite...
No, check answer.
I'm quite blessed that I have many bosses who I could categorize as a phone call away kind of bosses. So whenever, I need help, or whenever I'm at this juncture where I need to make decision, so I just need to text him. Okay, why I say him, because majority of my bosses meals.
I got another question later.
Okay.
Okay.
Ni kena bayar extra ni.
So extra
cinema.
So I actually developed those kind of friendships, and at the same time becoming like my unofficial and unpaid coaches or mentors. So whenever, like for example, when I got the job offer to join CIMB, so I can just call 2 or 3 of my ex-bosses and
for advice.
Advice, especially they know me well. Do you think that I can fit into this kind of culture? Do you think that I can do the job? Is the job too big for me? And things like that. So and these coaches or mentors or ex-bosses come in a form of, they will tell me as it is, because I need that. It's not something that I want to hear. There's not going to be like a template or a motivation, encouraging. So if you think that it's not suitable, then this group of people, typically they're gonna just tell me.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the right,
So you're still in very good contact with your
very
previous
good
boss. See, that's why it's
contact. Very
important. It's
contact.
not just
Yeah.
about burning that bridge. Oh, I don't need already, like,
Yeah.
It's
You don't
always-
know when you're gonna need
Correct.
advice next.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the same time, especially, HR is a small
Community.
community, small industry.
Yeah.
Especially when we go to Aspire, it's like a reunion for us,
Yeah.
It's like, after that we go lunches together, we just leave our team to
Spouse. So
manage,
you ajak them.
yeah. So we have our community, we even have in our WhatsApp group,
Yeah.
hey, you guys coming, so
Yeah.
what do we do after that, after the officiating ceremony and all that, right?
Correct.
So you need more people to talk about good
And be
things that you've done.
honest.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like, for example, right, Mona, sometimes, we have our discussion, Mona, I'm considering this person. You work with this person, okay or not?
Yeah.
So this kind of
Yeah.
healthy exchanges
Correct.
help.
Yeah.
And you don't get that if you keep on thinking that there's a cut off. Okay,
Correct,
I no
true.
longer work there.
That's
so
why I say the
Yeah.
line where
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
it's a hard line or mental
KL
line.
is a very small place as well.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I think for me, I've definitely, because, so I think having parents who haven't come from corporate, so both my parents are civil servants, I think what people don't tell you about other factor of maybe climbing that corporate, if you decide for life in corporate, right?
Yeah.
It's actually that there are a lot of unsaid rules,
Okay, yes.
right? Certain ways of,
That you learn
interpreting that you learn
Yeah.
along the way, right? But it helped. But you've got to be in these situations to be able to experience them and then know what to do in these situations, right?
Yeah.
So these are things that they will not teach you in school, and no matter how brilliant your grades are, right? So sometimes you come to a place, the time where you are stuck and you're thinking, okay, so how do I navigate this? How do I move
Yeah.
around? But you can't turn to your parents
Yep,
for help
yep.
because they've not been in the situation.
don't know,
right?
yeah.
So my mother was a school teacher, so obviously life in teaching secondary school children was very different. Right?
Yeah.
So I think this is where the lived experiences of former bosses who've become, I guess, your friends,
Yeah.
right, have helped because they've been there, they've experienced certain things. You can
Yeah.
get their perspective, or or if you are, say, going to present to the board of directors for the first time, you're terrified,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, but you put up a brave face to your boss, your immediate boss and
Yeah.
current boss, and of course you don't want to show that,
My parents are different. My
Yeah.
parents, you don't switch job. You stay with one company for the rest of your life.
yeah.
So whenever I want to switch job, sometimes I don't tell my parents until I
After
switch.
that.
Because otherwise, kenapa nak tukar? What's wrong with the company? Okay,
Yeah.
what? All that.
Yeah.
Abah kerja, dia dah 35 tahun. So that's when you need to have another sounding board that can give you more objective observation.
observations,
Yeah. I mean, just speaking from my experience, when I came, I had very few friends here. In fact, I developed friends here, and the bulk of the people I know are my clients, like both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been here now close to 20 years, and I would like to think that I've developed so much good friendships with you.
Yeah, you're just
both
like
of you.
we are your one phone call away, and
Yeah.
vice versa.
Exactly.
we learned a lot
I mean,
from you,
half
right?
my wedding was all the clients.
But we learned a lot from you as well. Like,
Yeah,
like, hey, you know that
exactly.
thing that Nada did, that new piece of that app, what app that she used that day? So we also go back to our business development. Hey, GRADUAN uses this. You guys want to consider, right?
Yeah.
I think the other thing is, okay, not just for life. This is funny. It's one of my junior team members, right? So he's like 1 year out of uni, right? Hey, so you're not afraid of coming to what do you call it, to buka puasa with me today, because we took the whole team out. He said,
Okay.
mestilah bos, kalau tidak bila nak merasa makan tempat-tempat macam ni. So I think the other advantage of being friends with your boss is that obviously
This is his version of. You remember, like you said, you're going. Your boss would take you out to nice places.
nice places for
Yes,
lunch.
his
Just
version
like
of
yeah
it.
lah. I mean, I'm gonna pay myself. No way, man. But since the boss is gonna,
Yeah.
like so Lisa and I used to say, hey, when we're gonna get belanja, like lobster
Yeah,
lunch
that's
or
why.
something like that. Like let's go.
That
yeah.
steakhouse, that we've been wanting to go.
Yeah.
Can we get one of the bosses to pay for us?
Yeah. And lo and behold, like okay. I mean, it's not just about work. It's also about like, so you get the experience of so this is what it's like.
But I think it's all part of the job. The whole experience and all these little perks that you get here and there lah.
Or like getting to go to the lounge of the airline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're on like travels, that kind of thing.
So I wanted also to say thank you for your friendship for the past 20 over years.
Oh, thank you. We're happy.
And with GRADUAN.
Likewise.
Likewise.
So last. Is it possible to be friends with Your boss or colleague?
I'm going to say the HR thing. Yes, if you have the right
Eh,
mindset.
lama.
Actually, yeah, if you have the right
It's not a hard
mindset.
answer, kan?
Yeah,
It's not a
it's
yes
not a
or
hard
no.
Yes,
answer.
so
No,
no.
it's not.
Like I said, it depends. Yeah, it really depends.
And I still
yeah.
coach some of my former team members who maybe have no longer in my team, maybe for the past 10, 15 years.
Wow.
So I still coach some of them.
And I think being open is also helps, right? Like, so maybe nowadays I take a step back and ask a few questions. Okay, do you want me to put my friend hat on, or is this like am I talking to you as a colleague?
Yeah.
You know, so you clarify that
Prior to that
prior to that, or
engagement.
okay, do you want a rant or do you want a solution, right?
Yeah,
So no, I want to complain. I said okay,
Okay,
all
then
right,
you go,
then we
yeah.
go on that mode. So, and I think companies that cultivate a culture where people can talk openly and where people can solicit feedback, but also get good feedback back. Because if you go into a company where you are friends with the boss, then it's a bit tricky, isn't it?
Correct.
Right? So you've got to work harder.
Because some people, they follow their boss. I don't know if you've seen
Yes,
that.
that's
Whatever
right.
they go. They bring the
And-
team.
yeah.
right?
Preference lah.
preference, right,
It's
yeah.
not right. It's not wrong either.
Yes.
So
Like we said,
preference.
yes and no. So, I mean, it's yes, but, you know.
Actually, I'm Mona sanity check when it comes to expenses.
Right. Should I spend this much
I
money?
said, no, you don't need another tumbler, Mona. You have
You
a lot
shouldn't
already.
ask me, because I will always be.
Yes, right?
Mona, have you seen the budget? Did you buy it? It's sold out
So and she
already.
will buy if I say, oh, Liza said yes. So definitely.
Can you
buy.
not tell me about my unwise investments in some Raya baju recently? I think we know. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've come to the end of
Okay.
it, and I've learned so much from both of you and sharing your experiences. Thank you so much, and to all our viewers, look out for the next episode. Thank you so much,
you,
Mona
Nada.
Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you.